Hi and welcome to this video. In this video, I will be comparing dating in 20s and versus dating in 30s and beyond. That is 40s and 50s, but mostly 30s. All right. What I have noticed is people in their 20s tend to date for longer, like 2-3 years or even more. But when people are dating in their 30s and 40s, they tend to date for 6 months, 1 year, and they're done. They settle to get married. So I was like, there's something here, right? There must be a reason why people in their 30s tend to date for shorter periods. Because for a long time, I used to advocate for people to date for at least more than a year before they get married. But then I realized for people who are older, this might not work for them. So that is what I'll be talking about in this video. I have just 6 points to show why there's a difference in that. All right, so that maybe you also understand yourself if you're in your 20s or in your 30s, or you also understand people around you who are at these different ages, so that you don't find yourself maybe telling people they should date longer, or they should settle faster. Yes, so that's what I'll be talking about. But just before that, I want to appreciate you guys for subscribing to this channel. We have hit 200 subscribers already, so I am so very grateful for all of you for supporting what I do, for believing in me. And my hope and prayer is that I will always show up with value. You will never come to any of my videos and feel like you have wasted your time. But every time you watch, I pray that you'll find something that will be insightful for you or for someone else that you know. All right. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, I have checked and I have seen actually 83% of people who watch my videos are not subscribers. So please subscribe to help support this channel to grow, so that I might also be able to reach more people like you. And also I want to appreciate the people who have been sharing my videos. I have seen that my videos I'm not the only one who shares on social media platforms. I have seen other people sharing. I am so very grateful for that. May God richly bless you for sharing this content, and I hope the people you share with will also find value. All right, so we get started with the content for this video. So the first one is almost kind of obvious. It is life experiences. By the time you're hitting your 30s, you have probably dated before, or you have had people in your life and you have seen, maybe you've seen them make mistakes, or you have made your own mistakes. You've gone through several, or maybe a breakup, and those experiences help you become better in decision making when it comes to relationships. You can see who you don't want to date even before they approach you, and you can see a potential partner when you meet them, right? So you know what you want because of what you have gone through in life. So that is what makes dating in 30s a bit faster, because by the time you're sitting down with someone for a date, you can already tell whether this is someone you want to be with or not. So life experiences actually prepare people who are older. That way they date for shorter time and they have less breakups. Which leads me to the next one, and that is maturity. I know people say age is just a number, but I've come to agree that there is some maturity that comes with age. For example, like the previous point I've just said, life experiences. The longer you have lived, the more life experiences you have, right? But there's also emotional stability that comes with growing up. You know, like, you find some of the things that were stressing you and making you angry and irritated and irritable when you're in your 20s. When you get to your 30s and 40s, there are things that you probably laugh at. So you're wondering, so what is this that is troubling this person? Because that is so petty according to you. So because of that emotional stability, it is easier to be in a long-term relationship and have some stability without having to go through a breakup, right? And also, Maturity will help you be able to see red flags even from afar. You can see, because of your age, you can see, well, this is someone who is not mature enough for me. This is someone who is petty. You know, maturity comes with some sense of stability. And that leads me to the next point, and that is focus on long-term relationships. When people are in their 20s, they are hardly thinking about long term. I know there are people who will say, oh, I think I found my wife or my husband, or let's see where this will go, you know. But most times when people are young, they'll say that, but in the real sense, it is just the thrill of the moment. They're not really thinking about the future. All right. A few people actually settle at that time. They see their potential partner in their early 20s and they settle. But most times, young people are not focused on long-term relationships. They are all about casual dating, just dating to see whether this will work or not. But when people become older, people don't want to date casually. There is no time to waste. You know, you don't have time to keep wasting taking coffees that you know are not going to bring you any value, you know. So people in their 30s and 40s tend to focus on long-term relationships. They can go out on dates or coffees, let me say, coffees and dinners, but it's not a relationship, right? But when they settle for someone, they know this is a relationship I want to be in the long term. They won't settle for someone just to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So they are more focused on long-term relationships. They'd rather not settle for someone and stay single for longer. But when they settle for someone, they know this is not jokes. We are not playing around. We are settling down. And that leads me to the next one, and that is social expectations and pressure. So when people are getting older and they're then, you know, probably considering dating or not, or around that, you find when people are older, society is putting some kind of pressure. Or when are you getting married? Or when are we having grandchildren? You know, there's that pressure. So when you have a breakup, when you're in your 30s or 40s, people are probably wondering what is wrong with you. They look at you as a failure, you know. But when people are in their 20s and they're having breakups left, right, and center, nobody is so much under pressure for them because they're still young. They're seen as children and all. So the pressure, the societal pressure is what makes people in their 30s and 40s be more serious. If they start dating someone, they are more serious, and that's why they are able to settle faster because they are in for the end goal, which is getting married and settling down. They're not out to just date and dump, right? So the pressure to settle down, the pressure to be seen as very mature and serious about life, that and the expectations people have, that is what sometimes pushes people to actually be more committed when they are older than when they are younger. And the next one is goals and priorities. So when people are younger, you find you have a lot of things you are juggling. You are trying to do personal development, trying to figure out yourself, your weaknesses, your strengths, what you want to do in life, probably building your career. You're also trying to build a social circle, trying to build friendships that will last long term. So there's a lot of things. So you find even if someone starts dating at that time, dating might be seen as by the way, because someone is trying to focus their energy on so many other things. So you find someone might be seen as someone who is not serious about dating or relationships, but it's just that they have a lot on their table. But when someone gets older, you have probably built your career or even a business. You have you know what you want in life, you are passionate about something, you're probably even focusing on your purpose, you have some financial stability. So when relationships come, you're stable enough to give relationships a priority, you know, like you can give it a priority. So that is what brings the difference, that someone who is younger might date without having so much energy towards it, and so they end up having breakups and looking like a joker. But it's just that someone is focused on other things. They are focused on so many things, probably working, and you have a side hustle, a business you're building, you know, there are so many things. You're probably even studying, you know, building on your career by studying. So you're probably going to school. No, there's a lot you are handling. But when you're older, you have lesser things, and even if you're studying, you're focused on one thing, right? You already you've already narrowed down your life on something, right? So you know what you want. So priorities and life goals also bring the difference when you look at someone dating in their 20s and someone in their 30s or 40s. And that leads me to the next one, which is obligations. So you will realize someone in their 20s is someone who is probably still being taken care of by their parents or older siblings, you know. Maybe if they are probably rent is being paid for them, or they're still being supported financially. Maybe their school fees is being paid by their parents and such, or their older siblings. But someone in their 30s and 40s, it is the flip. You know, they are the ones sending money home. This is someone who will probably be paying school fees for one of their siblings, you know, or they have to maybe take care of their own, maybe siblings, or take care of their parents. Their parents are old, so they now have to take care of them. So there are a lot of obligations for someone who is older compared to when someone is younger. And even when someone is younger, even if they are independent, you don't, most times, now this is not all times, but most times you realize parents don't have so much demands for someone who is just starting off in their career, right? Someone who is just kicking off in their 20s. The parents might not be demanding, oh, you have to send money, oh, this has happened, will you send, you know, will you pay the insurance, the health insurance for us? You know, parents won't do such demands. Or maybe the cows are sick, we need the vet to come, please pay the vet, you know, such things. When you're in your 20s, somehow parents don't put such demands, but when you've grown older, you find such obligations. So now on relationships, you find someone who is older, because of the obligations they have, probably someone has been a single parent because maybe their spouse died, or they went through divorce, or they are a single mom. Because of these responsibilities, they tend to take relationships seriously. By the time someone is settling for someone, they know this is something that has to work. Unless someone, and let me say, what I'm saying is not just for everyone in their 30s and 40s. We still have jokers, right? We still have jokers in their 30s and 40s. People are not even serious about this thing. They are casual in dating, they are still playing games. But for most people in their 30s and 40s, because of the obligations they have, they tend to take relationships seriously because they know they have dependents, and whoever they marry will affect not just them, but the dependents they have, either the children they have or the family members they are supporting and all that. So that is what I've realized brings the difference in dating when people are in their 20s and in their 30s. And I think now I have a different perception for people who are dating in their 30s and 40s, because before I had never thought about it. I used to just think people should date for at least like a year, more than a year, 2 years or 3 years, you know. before they settle, but I've realized that works for people in their 20s. They still have a lot of growing up to go through. You're still building yourself a lot, still working on yourself, and and you need to mature to some extent before you settle down. But for people in their 30s, 40s, 6 months, 1 year, people are able to settle down and their marriages still work. So that is what I've realized is bringing the diversity when it comes to dating. I hope you have picked 1 or 2 things from this video. Let's keep the discussion going in the comment section. Maybe you can give me more things that you have realized on relationships, that brings a difference on relationships. And thank you for watching to the end. If you have not yet subscribed, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. It helps us reach more people. And again, thank you for all my viewers who keep coming back. God bless you. And if you have not watched the video on why dating right, and if you have not yet watched the video on why marrying right is a big deal, make sure to have a look at it. It is linked in the description below.